afternoon, everyone, and my name is Kate Cáceres. I'm going to be your speaker for today. So, what if I told you there was this simple and easy thing you can do that could help you with your health, with your stress, with your anxiety, and even to just improve your brain activity? And it's so easy that even a baby, a newborn, can benefit from it and can do, right? So, what I'm going to be talking to you about is going to be classical music. So today I'm going to be informing you about 3 health benefits that come from listening to classical music. So several years ago, I ended up making a research because I had a project over things about Alzheimer's patients. So I had to do this deep research about them, right? So I ended up coming up with classical music actually improves brain activity in Alzheimer's patients, and it actually helps them remember things. So there was a whole study over Alzheimer's patients, and listening to classical music, it actually improves it, and actually we're able to conversate with that person about stuff that they had completely forgotten about. So that got me thinking. So if classical music can help Alzheimer's patients, what other benefits does listening to classical music have? So I started to research about what are the other benefits does listening to classical music have in the past couple days, week and a half, right? So today, the 3 benefits that come from listening to classical music are that it improves brain activity, it helps relieve stress, and it helps relieve anxiety. So stress is something that we can all relate, right? We can think about, oh, I have stressing about school, stressing about work, and sometimes even people have anxiety to talk in front of people or just anxiety over other stuff. Usually anxiety has been rising over the last couple of years in young people, and this has been a rising issue to our society. And not only that, but people have been trying to look for help with mental health. um, so anxiety and stress is something that are usually correlated, and that are, if one is caused, the other one is to follow sometimes. And everyone, no matter the race or gender, can benefit from learning something about how can you help your own health? How can you end up boosting your brain activity, your stress, your anxiety, and all of that, right? So let's start with our main point. So our first point is listening to classical music, it improves your brain activity. So it activates different parts of your brain. It not only activates memory, it doesn't only activate how do I do things, how do I lift up my right hand, how to lift up my left hand. It also has to do with your feelings and your emotions and all of this stuff. So whenever you're trying to activate your brain, whenever you're listening to classical music, it actually triggers and it releases a relaxing type of dopamine and neurotransmitters that actually boost your happiness and joy type thing. So it actually makes you feel more joyful, more happy, and keep on going with your day. So right here I have a quote that says, Mozart's music triggered parts of the brain that are responsible for high-level mental functions. So as a college student, I have high-level mental functions, like how to do algebra, how to do calculus, how to do all of these other stuff. So classical music actually helps with all of those high-level activities, or during your work, essential things that you might have in your daily life. So our second main point about listening to classical music is it helps relieve stress. So researchers have made studies over how listening to classical music before a surgery, it actually helps them relieve stress. It takes that tense out of them, because usually before surgeries, even if it's minor, it's still kind of stressful. You get tensed up, you get worried. Is it gonna come out right? So listening to classic music, researchers have found out that it actually helps with that stress. It relieves that stress. And right here it says it also increased blood flow by 26%, laughter by 16%, which is correlated with what I said previously about that release of chemical dopamine, and it relaxation by 11%. So another thing about anxiety is about stress, it usually ends up leading to anxiety. Not all the time does it lead to anxiety, but most times it does lead to anxiety. My third and final point, my final main point, is going to be helps relieve anxiety. So like I said previously, usually whenever someone has anxiety, it ends up correlating to someone that has stress, it ends up correlating to someone that has anxiety. So uh, usually anxiety is connected to to your blood pressure. So whenever you start to worry, your breath starts like elevating, you breathe more often. So with you breathing more, your heart pumps even more, and your blood pressure ends up rising. With that blood pressure rising, it's what causes anxiety. While listening to classical music, it relaxes you, it lets that blood pressure go down, and it actually helps you relax and just focus, right? So, what we have covered, the three main points that we have covered today about listening to classical music, is how it improves brain activity, it helps relieve stress, and it helps relieve anxiety. So, listening to classical music is something easy and simple that can help you in so many ways. It can help you with stress, anxiety, and brain activity. So something as insignificant that maybe you have not thought of, it can help you in so many ways with your health. Excuse me. So, if anyone has any questions I can answer, go ahead, just raise your hand and I'll answer them. Yes.
Why did you choose classical music?
I chose classical music because it's not something that people are listening to nowadays. It's more hip hop, rap, and those type of stuff. Any more questions? All right, thank you. I hope that you enjoyed my presentation over classical music and that you have a great afternoon. Bye.
Turn around.
Yes.
Hi.